Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We have news right now involving Vince McMahon and the Mr. McMahon docuseries, which is set to release on Netflix early Wednesday morning. So, in anticipation of the docuseries being released, we've seen Mr. McMahon release an official statement. We've seen lawyers representing Janel Grant release an official statement. And then on Tuesday morning, a veteran entertainment reporter put out a report stating that after seeing an early cut of the project, Vince McMahon actually attempted to purchase it back from Netflix. However, Netflix turned him down. Let's start with a statement that Vince McMahon released at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, stating that the Mr. McMahon docuseries conflates the Mr. McMahon character he played on WWE programming with his true self. So here is what Mr. McMahon wrote. He said, "I don't regret participating in this Netflix documentary. The producers had an opportunity to tell an objective story about my life and the incredible business I built, which were equally filled with excitement, drama, fun, and a fair amount of controversy and life lessons. Unfortunately, based on an early partial cut I've seen, this doc falls short and takes the predictable path of conflating the Mr. McMahon character with my true self, Vince. The title and promos alone make that evident. A lot has been misrepresented or left out entirely in an effort to leave viewers intentionally confused. The producers use typical editing tricks with out-of-context footage and dated sound bites to distort the viewer's perception and support a deceptive narrative. In an attempt to further their misleading account, the producers use a lawsuit based on an affair I ended as evidence that I am, in fact, Mr. McMahon. I hope the viewer will keep an open mind and remember that there are two sides to every story." Ann Callis, the lawyer representing Janel Grant, responded to Mr. McMahon's comments. She wrote, "Vince McMahon physically and emotionally abused, sexually assaulted, and human trafficked Janel Grant for more than 2 years. Calling his horrific and criminal behavior an affair is delusional and nothing more than a sad attempt to save his shredded reputation. Although Miss Grant has not seen the Mr. McMahon docuseries, we hope it shines a bright light on his abhorrent and criminal actions by accurately portraying the realities of his abusive and exploitive behavior. Miss Grant will no longer be silenced by McMahon. Her story, though deeply troubling and exceptionally painful, is one that can help other abuse survivors find their voices. We seek to hold McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE accountable and to give Miss Grant her day in court." So then Matthew Baloney of Puck News discussed Mr. McMahon's attempt to purchase the Netflix documentary after seeing an early cut of it. So in a newsletter that he posted on Tuesday morning, Baloney wrote, "After seeing early footage, he, McMahon, actually tried to buy the project back from Netflix, per two sources familiar." And he noted here that Netflix declined to comment. Vince also had Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel, his new partner in TKO, chime in on his behalf, also voicing concern about the doc's treatment of Vince's alter ego, Mr. McMahon, which ended up being the title of the doc. He continued, "Netflix refused to let the project go. And then this past January, the worst McMahon scandal broke when a former employee sued, alleging terrible abuse." And then Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, he discussed this on Wrestling Observer Radio last night. And he was saying that there were people in Netflix, when WWE signed this 10-year, multi-billion-dollar agreement to put Raw on Netflix and move their content there, that there were people in Netflix that were trepidatious about this deal, knowing about some of the allegations against McMahon. And so Meltzer said, "The deal with Netflix was signed a couple of days before the Janel Grant lawsuit was filed. It was not like this was behind the scenes, this deal that everybody was drinking champagne about. There were people in Netflix who were not high on this deal, but they signed it. They went with it. But there were people who were trepidatious about getting into business with WWE." So we will keep you up to date on everything going on with Vince McMahon, Janel Grant, that lawsuit, and this docuseries coming out. Certainly, we'll be watching the docuseries when it is released early Wednesday morning. Make sure that you are subscribed and click the notifications bell so you don't miss our next video.